Well, thank you for staying with us here. The Fassi French round of the NEFIM Superbike World Championship. And we're here for the final round of the PATA European Junior Cup around the 4.411 kilometre circuit. Michael Hill then here in the commentary box. The riders just on the warm-up lap. We're joining the coverage here a little bit late because of the celebrations there for Lorenzo Savadori. Alongside me once again, Kyle Smith, of course, fresh from another top 6 finish in World Supersport. Kyle, good to see you with us again.
Yeah, I think I'm getting used to being up in here for the Junior Cup, eh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm sure that I certainly wouldn't want to swap positions with you. Not brave enough to go elbow to elbow with the Supersport boys. But very, very quickly then, ladies and gents, we've got lots to get through today. We have 8 riders fighting out for second position in the championship. We've got 2 French riders on the front row of the grid, Guillaume Raymond and Dorian Leville starting first and third. And they're sandwiching the Italian rider, Emanuele Puchedu. And we seem to have a bit of chaos on the grid. That is one of the wildcards, number 4, Romain Le Carpentier. And he, of course, his first appearance in the championship, riding for Honda France, as there we see number 96, the champion, Javier Orellana, coming to the grid. Very quickly then, let's run you through the grid. It's Raymond, Puchedu and Leville on row 1. Josh Harland, the British rider, in 4th, ahead of Orellana and Gracia. Perez, De Grutele and Hill. Stefan Hill, great performance by the young Brit in 9th. Coppola, Chabuk and Van Sikkelrus, but we haven't got time to talk about the rest of the grid. We're watching the lights. It's the final round of the championship. 10 laps to go. Red. And we're racing, and a great start by Guillaume Raymond. The French rider tucks himself in there. Number 3 is Sam Wilford going around the outside. A bit of bumping and boring as we go into turn number 1. And does everybody make it safely through? It looks as though they do. So it's Guillaume Raymond in the lead as we go round the very, very fast and swooping turn 2 and turn 3. And Kyla, a very, very important corner to get right.
Yeah, just you know, after the start, it's a big long corner onto a long fast straight, and after the long back straight, oh, there's a crash over the back. The back's carrying on. And
that is the number 20 of Doran Loureiro, the South African, and looks as though he would have been perfectly all right. We get legs out, Sam Wilford with the legs out. Up the inside goes Gracia. Do we get it through? And I always get a little bit worried we're going into the Adelaide Hairpin, whatever category we're riding. But the boys and girls, of course, we have, of course, a number of female competitors in the European Junior Cup, but they all safely make it through. But at the front, it's Leville. Leville leading from Raymond and Josh. Oh, they're over the curbs, and that looked like De Grutele. Now, he didn't go through there's a special place that they have to go through there, so that could be a penalty.
It could be a penalty, but I don't think, you know, he entered to the track safely. He didn't make up no position, so I don't think they should penalise him for that. I don't think it should be no problem.
Okay then, so a little bit further down, Haran Chabuk, I will get that right at some point before the 2016 season starts. He's running in 9th, Mika Perez 11th, Sam Wilford currently in 12th.
The inside goes Harland, got a lot of chatter there, but good move.
A very good move for Josh Harland. And you have to recall, of course, a couple of weeks ago in Jerez, he was odds on for a podium until he skewered himself with the foot peg.
Yeah, and he had a black and blue hand, so he looks really strong. He is really strong on the brakes. So he's, he'll be fighting for a win for sure.
He will indeed. And for those of you that are familiar with the European Junior Cup, Josh Harland made his debut in the European Championship here back when the European Junior Cup run with a different manufacturer and a slower bike, and he took the victory on his debut. So it's certainly a track that he likes.
Yeah. Yeah, looks really strong here.
He does indeed, but as expected and as is customary, as we see Orellana there, the champion, goes up into second position. A lovely little move there on the inside of Harland. As usual, we normally get 5 or 6 riders. Now we've got yellow flags, so let's hope that the boys and girls do see that. And Orellana moves out, and there is 59. That's Leville. As we go up towards, we've got the green flags there as well, so we go up into the braking zone, and it's Orellana who hits the front. No, it's not, it's Harland. Harland hits the front. Harland takes over from the number 96, and they go elbow to elbow now down towards the next chicane. And Kyle, there's a little bump there, isn't there? We've seen it all weekend with the bigger bikes. There's a little crest just as you go over the rise there.
Yeah, it's a really technical little bump on these bikes, the smaller engine bikes. It's not so much of a big problem, but especially on the super bikes, to keep the front wheel down, it's really difficult. And these are having a real good battle up front, and you got to remember as well, Oriana and Harland. Well, Oriana's already got the championship wrapped up, so he'll be definitely pushing. You know, he'll be taking all risks for the win.
He will indeed. We're just getting notification on our screens that Doran Loureiro has been taken to the medical centre for a precautionary check. So for those of you that are watching Doran's progress back in South Africa, lots of chatter on the front end, but good news that Doran Loureiro is okay. A little bit further back as we get Orellana out of the seat. Let's have a quick shout out for the leading lady, and the leading girl at the moment in this race is Victoria Kiss, the young Hungarian, and she missed the last round, of course, at Jerez. She was racing in Qatar, where she is, of course, the reigning Superstock Qatari champion, but she's currently in 24th position, and she's involved in a 6-bike fight with Ricardo Picciuto, Dimitris Karakostas, Nikos Karakostas. They're all in there, elbows out, and Avalon Biddle, the champion, currently in 27th. So at the front it is status quo. Haaland as we go into turn number 2, then the third of 10 laps, and that's a lovely style that Haaland's got there. Guillaume Raymond, the Frenchman, is into third position. Gracia.
Oh, looks like he's having a problem with his...
Did you just miss a gear there?
That's a rear brake.
Oh, that could have been sorry about to cut you off there, Cal, but that could have been nasty.
No, sorry, that's a gear shifter. That's on the other side. We're looking at it back to front.
And is he going to go straight on? He is indeed. And Haaland, what cruel look.
Oh, they've got
a faller there. They touched wheels, and that was just a little bit of silliness. And Haaland, oh, you've got a feel for the guy. And who is that that's gone down? Number 95 is De Grutteler. Well, any chance that De Grutteler had of finishing second in the championship has gone, and he's gone on the floor, and he looks like he's a little bit winded there. The marshals will do their best to pick up the bike on the inside. Oh, and they just tagged. They just touched each other, didn't they, on the inside there, and down he went.
Haaland just looks like the bolts come loose out of the gear selector. What a shame. He were definitely up front fighting for a win.
He was, but that leaves the champion Javi Orellana at the front. Orellana, the winner in Aragon, the winner in Assen, the winner at Donington Park, the winner at Portimao. The only positions that he's finished when he hasn't won is third, and he finished third at Imola and third in his home round in Jerez. Could this be win number 5 for the champion? And of course he will be progressing next year as part of the prize for winning the PATA European Junior Cup onto another category within the World Superbike paddock. We're yet to have that announced as to where he will go, but that will be part of the prize. And of course Avalon Biddle will be picking up at 5 o'clock in the prize giving the keys to a brand new race prepared CBR 600. So not bad at all.
It's a pretty good prize.
It's a pretty good prize, absolutely.
Good prize.
So we see a bit of debris there as we go through turn 1. So have we had another faller? We have. It looks as though I'm getting on the screen Victoria Kiss. It looks as though we're going to get a replay on the inside, and Pichetto hits him, and down goes Victoria, and the bike goes over and over and over, and that's where we could see the bit of debris. But thankfully Victoria is perfectly okay, and well, it's
Raymond's up front.
It's all changed at the front as we see 58 up the inside. Lovely little move there.
Third.
Pichetto up the inside. Orellana in third. Gracia is in fourth. 59 is Leville. Chabuk, the Turkish rider, in sixth. What a season for Turkey. We've had Kenan Sofuoglu wrapping up his 4th World Championship title. And, of course, Toprak Razgatlioglu winning, of course, in Superstock 600. And it seems as though the third fast Turk, Harun Chabuk, is on the ascendance up into the top 6. A shout out for Mika Perez. He's up into 8th position, just ahead of Stefan Hill, who's having a great weekend. And Matti Ojipret, excuse me, is in 11th position. Jamie Van Sickle is up to 12th, and he's having a great tussle with Troy Bezuidenhout, the youngest rider in the championship. And why not, as we see around the outside there, is Gracia, 14th and 15th positions respectively at the moment. The number 77, Brian Caston, and the number 4, who we saw having a few little problems at the start, just getting his right grid position, is Romain Le Carpentier, and they're fighting out for 14th along with Dimitris Karakostas, the young Greek rider. And a big shout out to all of the fans that we have over there in Greece, as we see on the screen that number 11 is under investigation, and you would think, Kyle, that would have been for the incident into turn 1.
Yeah, I think you know, it looked like a bit of, it's a very fast corner to go up the inside, but yeah, they'll just have to look from different angles, see the ins and outs.
It looked on screen, though, to be fair, it wasn't an intentional move. I think Pichetto got a little bit unsighted and kind of hit the curb, and they were just so close, there was nothing that really Victoria could do.
Yeah, I don't think any riders really, you know, knocked somebody off intentionally. But things can happen. It is racing.
It is indeed. And talking of racing, Supersport race for you, but let's think about the Superstock race. And Augusto Fernandez, the champion of the European Junior Cup last year, taking his first victory in the FIM Superstock 600 Championship. So it just goes to show, ladies and gents, that this very much is the breeding ground for the stars of the future. And congratulations from all of us here in the commentary box to Augusto Fernandez. He, of course, joined me in the commentary at Assen and did a great job.
Oh, very good. Yeah. He had a really good race yesterday, very good, in the wet as well.
It was difficult conditions yesterday for those of you that were watching, and a masterful performance by Augusto Fernandez, elevating himself actually to 4th overall in the championship, which was a great effort in his first season. Okay then, so let's try and get our breath. We're at the half race distance. It's Pichedu from Raymond, Orellana, Leville and Gracia, but the top 4 are breaking away. In terms of the overall top 3, now of course at 5 o'clock this afternoon, if you're here in the paddock, and I know that a lot of you are watching this on mobile devices, we have the official prize giving for the European Junior Cup and the Superstock classes 600 and of course Superstock 1000s. If the flag was to go out now, we would have 3 riders potentially tied for 2nd position. Pichedu, Raymond and Gracia would all be on 102 points. So there's plenty at stake here, Kyle, to be invited to the FIM presentations in a couple of hours' time.
Yeah, and who goes? Is it for the best result finishers? If you're equal on points, I think
it would be on countback.
The 2nd position goes to the best result finishers.
Absolutely, it does indeed. So it's all to play for. If you're tied on points and you've got the same number of seconds or thirds or victories, it absolutely does on a countback. So these positions do matter as we go, as we fan out 2 abreast. And on the inside is Pichedu. He's having a look on the inside and he goes through, passes Orellana. Orellana, of course, is the champion. He doesn't need to mix it with these guys, but there's a little bit of pride at stake. He wants to go out.
There'll be lots of pride at stake, and now is no pressure. To a degree, he's already got the championship wrapped up, so he'll be just wanting a win for sure.
Yeah, he will indeed. So
as you can see, look, he's looking up the inside.
Nice little move. And they're all seeming to come back together again. It seems as though we now have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's maybe a group of 6 now. It looks like Coppola, Alfonso Coppola. He has now got himself into the mix. Coppola currently 6th in the championship on 57 points. He would move, of course, up to 67 points with the 10 points that you would get for a 6th position. But yeah, this is shaping up nicely, Kyle. We've got 4, and oh, what? Look at the chatter on the front end.
A lot of the bikes seem like they have the same problems. They're braking very heavy into that hairpin. It's just the rear wheels pushing the front. There's, you know, it's very cold out there. It's been damp this morning. The grip on track's not too good, and when that front wheel just lacking a bit of grip, it can chatter.
Oh, and that's a brave fight back there. Leville up the inside into turn 15, went a little bit wide, and ever the opportunist sparks off the boots there, and that's Orellana back up into 3rd. Fastest lap of the race, and a new lap record to Alfonso Coppola, 1:51.161. And that is almost as fast as the pole position time. They're lapping as quickly as they were in qualifying. This is a really, really fast pace. On to the back straight then, lap number 7. Fastest lap there, you have confirmation. That's a new lap record. But at the front, it's Guillaume Raymond. He's not necessarily had the season that he wanted. He's had a couple of problems in a couple of races. Of course, coming back into the championship after riding in Superstock 600. As around the outside there, we see Coppola. A great little scrap going on just behind with Stefan Hill. And this is his best performance. Stefan Hill up into 7th position. And I've not seen the youngster riding so well. Great to see. We see on the screen a great fight a little bit further down. So Harren Chabuk, Sam Wilford and Matteo Cipretti all locked together. Jamie Van Sikkelrus, the Dutch rider, in the fluorescent orange leathers, if you see him going through the screen. He is in 13th position, and good to see him in the points. Sorry, he's in 12th position, just ahead of Troy Bezuidenhout, the youngest rider. And then behind that, a couple of seconds further back, we've got the battle of the French wildcards, Brian Caston and, of course, Le Carpentier. They're fighting it out for the final point. Thomas Cassano from Argentina. Lots of speculation that Thomas Cassano may be moving on to Superstock 1000 next year, and that's a brave move to go from junior cup to stock 1000.
It's a big jump. I think the stepping stone is to stock 600, but you know, if he's got a good bike in stock 1000 and he can train hard and be strong to handle the big 1000 bikes, it should, you know, it's always good to take a chance.
No, absolutely. And you do get a mix, of course, in here. We've got a variety of ages. We've got from the youngsters of likes of Troy Poseidon-Hoot and Mika Perez, just 15, 16 years old, the youngsters. Not saying that by 19 you're not an old man by any stretch of the imagination, but certainly at 19 you're a little bit more developed, you can do a little bit more training, so handling a bigger bike is not necessarily going to be so much of a problem.
Yeah, the biggest difference with 1000 is just the brute force of the bike. It's really fast, like rolling on 200 horsepower, so you need to have the shoulders to hold on to the thing. That's the big difference.
Indeed, and at the front, more chattering as we now see the top six have Concertina together as through. Again on the inside goes Raymond. We've already seen one French winner with Jeremy Guinoni. We've seen Sylvain Guintoli on the podium as well in the opening Superbike race. And a lot of fans here today, 18,000 fans packed into the circuit despite the less than favourable conditions, which is good to see. And they would love to see Guillaume Raymond take a victory, but also secure a position in the top three, because that means he will be at the prize giving this afternoon. And the French fans, as we've seen already, they do like to get a little bit crazy.
The French love to get crazy. Yeah,
and good to see. Why wouldn't you want to get crazy when you've got action like this on track? Lap number 8, and we've got somebody just touring on the left-hand side. That looks like it's one of the back markers, and I think that may have been. Let me have a look on the screen. That may have been Anastasia Kovalenko that was just touring on her way back to the pits. But we're coming through then. Lap number 8 of 10. We've got 2 laps to go of the 4.411 kilometre circuit. Nevada Manico on the inside goes Doran Level, and that's
big
brave.
Lunge down
that's
the
brave.
inside.
And, a bit of arm waving there. Paulo de Graaf, he's not happy with that, is he, Paulo? He doesn't want to get held up. And in racing like this, Carl, you've been involved in some fantastic racing. What's the plan?
What's the plan? The bike's a very equal speed coming down to the last lap. No plan. I'd like to be in the front on this track. Some tracks you've got a big long straight to the finish line and you can slipstream. The finish line is just out of the last chicane, so I'd be thinking the last sector of the track I'd want to be in front.
I'm not sure I'd want to be on the track at all, to be honest. It's a bit too scary for me, but here we go then. A lap and a half to go. We go 3 abreast then in towards the Adelaide hairpin. And I've said it before, and I've said it a few times this year, and I'm a bit loath to say it again, but this is the kind of corner, as we've seen 3 or 4 times, when the guy in 5th could possibly come out leading.
Very easily.
And as I say that on the screen, we've got number 46 crashing out of the proceedings at turn number 6, that is. So turn number 6 for the number 46 rider.
3 have spread out just
and that's Connell Courtney. Give him a mention, actually. Young 17-year-old Irish rider. And that's a pass on the inside. Now, was there yellow flags there? That's turn 6 that they're going through now, and LaVille definitely passed there. And we could see on the screen that is where young Connell went down. Connell, actually, this weekend, in only his first ever ride on anything bigger than a 300. He's only ever ridden a 125 before, and we're speaking to them in the paddock. Lovely young man, and he's hoping to be in the championship next year, and it's been a great experience for him. But back to the front, the ever-chattering Emanuele Puchedu. He's already taken a victory this year at Imola. He was challenging for the victory at Misano and got it all completely wrong and sent him and Orellana skittling through the kitty litter. But we're coming through then into the penultimate corner of the penultimate lap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all together.
And he's run wide, and Orellana's up the inside.
And that is exactly what Guillaume Raymond needed, because it gives him the chance to get right in the slipstream. Coppola has somehow found his way up into 4th. LaVille is 5th. Across the line is in 8th position is Stefan Hill. Great performance, but let's keep our eyes then on the front. Just over 2.6 miles to go, and Orellana, the champion, is leading from the front. In 2nd position is Guillaume Raymond. Raymond has passed Puchedu. Puchedu's made a mistake, and that bike is chattering on every turn. So here we go then. Mika Perez, and great to see Mika Perez after the last few races, the problems he's had.
So many DNFs, and it's good to see him up there battling.
Great to see him on the back of this. And here we go. Number 34 has gone down on our screen as well. On the grass, that's just coming up, and they're going 4 abreast, 5 abreast. Here we go, and Coppola has gone from 5th to 2nd.
And Orellana looks like he's... No, I thought we were going to be pushed back up the inside.
Well, great racing, and you've got to say utmost respect between themselves as we go now into the chicane, into turn number 5, 6, 7. Here we go, and it is still at the front. Emanuele Puchedu going for win number 2. Alfonso Coppola has been on the podium once, and that was at Misano in his home round. He would love to be on the podium again. Orellana, bit of experience coming there. He elevates himself up into 2nd position, but there's 7 of them together, and we've got 4 corners to go. Here we go then, it's Puchedu from Coppola. It's an Italian 1-2. Raymond and LaVille, 4th and 5th. The French riders off the podium. And here comes Mika Perez. Mika Perez has got the back end skating around.
Big crash.
We've got a crash. And that looks like Coppola.
Coppola and Buscetta run off track.
It is Coppola and the two Italians.
So Oriana's in front.
The two Italians taking each other down. We'll probably get a replay of that, but Orellana is odds on now. He's 10 bike lengths clear. The champion is going to take the victory. Or is he? He won't know that he's got a gap. Up the inside goes Buscetta. He goes through and Raymond responds. And I think that is going to be game over, but it's Orellana. Orellana takes the win. Javi Orellana takes the win. Dorian Leville is in second position. Guillaume Raymond in third. France second and third. Emanuele Buscetta finishes in fourth. Paulo Gracia is in fifth. Mika Perez, well done, that man, in sixth position, and on the grass coming out of the final corner. Wow, and that looked like, who was that? That was Van Sicklerus and
he's
Sam
a good
Wilford.
supermoto rider, so he can deal with
He just kept it pinned, yeah. That wasn't going to scare him at all. Absolute delight for the family of Dorian Leville and Guillaume Raymond, and rightly so. But our champion, and now a 5-time winner in 2015, is Javier Orellana for the Europe Foods. His mum and dad are here in the paddock, and well, that underlines his supremacy this season. Congratulations to him. Let's give you a rundown. If we look a little bit further down, we look for our leading lady, and once again, the leading lady, we wait for her to come across the line.
This is a replay. He runs off track. They both crashed separately. Sorry, he didn't crash, he just ran off track. Completely separate incident, so I apologise to Emanuele Buscetta, who stayed on in fourth position. There was no contact whatsoever, and Coppola just getting a little bit over-enthusiastic with the front brake. Can confirm then in 19th position, Avalon Biddle. Let's give you a rundown then as the celebrations on track, and good friends there. There's Sam Wilford in the bright green IDWE, Jody and Ian, of course, here this weekend. And lots of speculation where Sam might be next year as well, whether that be in Super Stock, whether he'd be riding in the UK, or whether he'd be moving possibly up into World Super Sport, which could be quite interesting for him, and a very bright future in front of him. Dorian Leville, great performance. And while we get our breath, that actually means in all of the chaos, Paulo Gracia finished fifth and elevated himself from sixth position in the standings to second. So our vice champion is Paulo Gracia. Guillaume Raymond does indeed finish in third position. Emanuele Buscetta is in fourth. Leville moves himself into fifth overall in the championship, and Giuseppe De Gruttola will be sixth in the championship. But in terms of the race results, a shake of the hands there from Guillaume Raymond, and a very, very polite young man is Guillaume. Very, very tall for one of these bikes, though. He's probably about 6'5". He's getting. He looks like he should be on the stock 1000.
Yeah, absolutely, and
size for it.
Absolutely. Nice to see that he's saying thanks to all the marshals, and rightly so. Where would we be without the marshals? But let's give you a rundown then of the runners and riders. What a great little wheelie there from Orellana. So we've got Orellana, Leville and Raymond, your podium finishers. Emanuele Buscetta, Paulo Gracia and Mika Perez in sixth. Stefan Hill gets his career best finish in seventh. Well done, that man. Harun Çabuk, and that actually means Harun Rapid, Harun Speedy if you translate it from Turkish. So he certainly was speedy today in 8th position. Matteo Ciapretti in 9th, and he came home just ahead of Sam Wilford and the sideways Jamie Van Sicklerus. Troy Bezuidenhout, who continues his
Avalon Middle with the t-shirt on.
And that looks like young Vaclav Duska, a young guy that takes some photos for me, or has done over the years. And we have indeed the women's champion, and the crowd are loving that, and rightly so. Women in motorcycling, and you've got to say for Jerry Bryce and for Dorna and for putting this initiative together to get females into European racing, what a good job they've done, and what a fantastic job by Avalon and all of the girls that have taken part this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's good the fact that Honda as well have invested a lot of time and effort to do the female category. And the prize as well, it's a really good prize. It's a stock 600 bike, so from what they win there, they can go on next year, maybe take the jump up and race stock 6.
Absolutely. There we see on the screen now. I was just giving you a rundown of the top 12. We see a replay of the final manoeuvre, but let's just finish off the runners and riders. 12th position was Troy Bezuidenhout. He continues and finishes in the points. He only just held on ahead of the number 4 rider, Romain Le Carpentier, who closed him down very, very rapidly in the closing stages. But nevertheless, another 4 points for Troy. Points for Le Carpentier. Brian Caston in 14th. And shout out for Greece. You can start breaking plates, ladies and gents, over in Athens and for wherever else you're watching, because young Dimitris Karakostas, he celebrated his birthday just a few days ago, and he's in the points again, and he's scored points for Greece on one more occasion. Fantastic. Congratulations to him. Thomas Cassano in 16th. We have the number 14 rider of Theo Klerk, Swiss rider, and he is a wild card, finishing 17th ahead of the number 81. That is Antoine Chapeau, and he is 18. Goes to the University of Nevers, does young Antoine. Avalon Biddle 19th, and another good rider, solid ride for Nikos Karakostas, the second of the Greek riders, in 20th. Laura Rodriguez is in 9th. The number 31 rider, Renzo Ferreira, finishing in 22nd, along with the other runners and riders. So there we see then on the screen then the race standings, the confirmation of the final race of the season, the 8th round of this year's Pata European Junior Cup. Orellana, Leville and Raymond, the French tricolore flying high, but it will be the Spanish national anthem that we hear on the podium. Wait for the graphic to change. We'll get the remaining riders in the top 20. As we said then, the Netherlands 11th, South Africa in 12th, France in 13th and 14th, Greece ahead of Argentina, Switzerland, France. Avalon Biddle does it for the Kiwis. Good luck to her, whatever she does next year, in 19th, and the Greek flag in 20th. We go a little bit further back. As I said, Laura Rodriguez, second position in the women's race. Renzo Ferreira, Ricardo Picciuto, who received no penalty, thankfully. Third position for the women's cup race there, Anastasia Kovalenko. She had some kind of problem towards the end of the race, but nevertheless in third. There we see Mr. Raymond Senior on the left-hand side with the mousy sort of greying hair, and his son Guillaume Raymond on the podium in third position. A lot of support. Big shake of the hands there we can see with Doran Leville. And both of those boys were actually on the stage with me at the paddock show. And we've got the interviews. I believe Greg Haynes is in the Parc Fermé with our winner.
Javi, congratulations. Great season. Great way to end the season, of course, as champion with victory here at Magny-Cours. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, it's been a perfect race after the disaster of the Friday and Saturday. I crashed on the free practice in the lap 3, and after in the qualifying we don't look at my disc of the race was blent. I can do any lap, and on Saturday was with the rain, with the no rain, I need to push. I get a good feeling alone, and after the race I knew here in Magny-Cours is a long straight and it's a big group, but I knew a battle like this through this year, and finally we're fighting with Puchedo really hard. Sometimes I think he do things, but it's been a perfect season, you know, 5 victories out 8, 2 podiums and 1-0. But I would like to say thank you to Jerry. It's been 4 perfect years for me, and I learned so much, and I hope be more years with him.
Best of luck for the future, of course, going on to 2016. And now just a few words then for the last time this season, please, Javi, in Spanish.
Bueno, la verdad es que ha sido un fin de semana un poco duro porque el viernes me caí en la vuelta 3 apretando porque, no sé, me caí, se me cerró delante, y después en los cronos me di cuenta, tenía el disco de freno doblado. Pero bueno, salimos el sábado, teníamos que dar muchas vueltas aunque llevaba un neumático nuevo, y bueno, conseguimos dar muchas vueltas solos porque estaba lloviendo, chispeando. Pero bueno, al final el domingo sabemos que era el día de la carrera, salíamos quinto, no salíamos mal. Y bueno, al final una lucha bastante dura, a lo mejor incluso en algún momento Puchedo demasiado dura, me intentó sacar un par de veces, pero bueno, al final siempre gana el más listo, y bueno, llevo 5 victorias este año, que pienso que está muy bien, y bueno, quiero dar las gracias a Jerry, que es el director de la European Junior Cup, que bueno, me ha ayudado estos 4 años y que he aprendido mucho con él, y espero seguir creciendo con él.
Muchas gracias, and Javi, very well done again on the victory and of course the title this year.
And our thanks, of course, to Gregory Haynes, who does a great job down there in the Parc Fermé and, of course, in the commentary box, alongside Steve Day. And again, we, of course, in the commentary box, we move on to Qatar for the World Superbike Championship. There is young Greg going out to do the interviews as the riders now head up towards the podium. We get a quick recap. While we're doing that, just a few little announcements. Of course, the European Junior Cup will be back in 2016. And again, my understanding is that the Women's Cup will also be a part of that. So if you are watching the races around the globe and would like to mix it with the upcoming talent that we have in the sport, do get in touch. You can get in touch via the website, which is europeanjuniorcup.com. And why not stay in touch in other ways on social media? Stay in touch at Euro Junior Cup, so that's at Euro Junior Cup for the European Junior Cup. But why not stay involved with the World Superbike Championship proper, and of course follow everything that's happening in the World Superbike Championship, the World Supersport Series and the Superstock classes. You can follow on social media at World SBK. That's at World SBK, and you can follow us using that handle on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram and on YouTube, where you can relive all of the races from the season, not just here but from the season start and all around the globe. And again, you can follow us for the whole year. There we see then the winning lady, and here she comes, young Avalon Biddle. Lovely little T-shirt that, and nicely deserved. Eric, there, my colleague, who'll be on the stage at the Paddock Show with me 4:15 today to talk to Jonathan Ray and, of course, Kanan Sofwoglu and PJ Jacobson for his victory, or their respective victories this season. So Avalon Biddle on the podium, Guillaume Ramond in third, smiles from Dorian Leville. And our champion of 2015, the European Junior Cup winner, is Javi Orellana. And big smiles there, lots of family members. Big thumbs up from little brother as well. Again, I'm not sure that they're all 18 years of age, so I'm not sure whether some of them will be just given fizzy lemonade or whether they don't get anything. I'm not sure what the rule is there, but there's Avalon, another victory in the Women's Cup, and a big shout out to her. She's had a fantastic season. She was running as high as 7th at Assen earlier in the year, and she's been a regular feature in the overall points standings and the points classifications on more than a couple of times this year, so congratulations, Guillaume Ramond. There's the smile. He's quite serious when you see him in the paddock, but he obviously smiling. Younger brother there, looking very, very pleased with things. Huge cheer that we can hear over the microphones for young Dorian Leville, and he elevated himself up into 5th position in the championship, and had it not been for the machine problem that he suffered in Jerez, he could well have featured a little bit higher overall. But here he goes then, trophy number 5 in terms of victories, his 7th podium of the season. And if you're going to win a championship, Kyle, okay, you've got a DNF, to put that out of the way, every other race on the podium.
Yeah, flawless.
Absolutely flawless.
And to finish the season with a victory as well, just the icing on the cake.
It was indeed. The national anthem of Spain. Congratulations to Javi Orellana. We are, of course, going to play out with just some images from the day. Kyle Smith, it's been a pleasure watching you on track. It's also been a pleasure having you in the box. I'm sure you're going to go on and have great successes next year with whatever you do. I know that you're not in a position to tell us what that might be, but thank you for your company during the Junior Cup season. I look forward to seeing you in the paddock next year.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I should be for sure back next year, and hopefully up here in the commentary booth a few more times as well.
You're more than welcome as ever. On behalf of myself, Michael Hill, thank you very much for watching the PATA European Junior Cup all season. It's been an absolute delight to be involved with the championship. I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of the commentary. And again, as I said, 2016, the European Junior Cup will be back in force with another 40 riders keen to show their talents around the racetracks of Europe. So on behalf of Michael Hill, Kyle Smith here in the box at the Fassi French round of the NEFIM Superbike World Championship, thank you all very much. We'll see you in 2016.